Good morning. It is 10:32 a.m., close enough, and it is Sunday, which means it is time for Sunday Club, a weekly Ruby on Rails live stream. Not quite weekly because we weren't here last week because I had to travel. And every week we take a look at some Ruby on Rails coding and we build an app together. That's what we're doing. And what the app does is it's an event registration and ticketing application. So we're hoping eventually to focus on group bookings for events, but that's what it does. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I was actually ready to go on time because I was away last week, and then I realized I didn't have any milk in my coffee, so things are pretty bad. And also, huge update, the on-air sign that my sister got me for Christmas is now working. I'm also slightly out of breath from running back up the stairs. I have to go to the gym. All right. Almost zero follow-up because wasn't here last week. So let's just dive straight into it. And yeah, let's just crack on with it. We're going to do view component stuff. Let's take a look at where we got to last week. We got to this blue box up here being our first example of view component. So if we go to the same... We can't go to the same URL because we have to be signed in for that, but let's go to the homepage here. And okay, it's annoying because you can't quite see it under the time thing here, but that just basically says hello or something like that. I can't remember what it says. It says sign in, which doesn't link anywhere. And then if you are signed in, it says your email address, and that's it. That's basically all we wanted to do last week and get something up and running. So what I want to do is basically expand. What I want to do today is basically expand on that. So that simple concept and build out an actual site navbar, but specifically the admin side of it, so that you can switch between the organizations that you have. I don't think we need to handle like switching between accounts. But switching between organizations would be handy for us on the stream because we always want to check multiple things. So just kind of recapping for myself what we did last week. So we had a view file, super basic, view component class, again, super basic, and this CSS file that is kind of sidecarred alongside them. Okay, fair enough. And all it does is just put a blue box around everything. And the main thing that we looked at last week was writing the tests for these here. So we had this idea of rendered component. And I remember we looked at the fact that it's not obvious when you're looking at this test where rendered component comes from. And we added a bunch of view component test helpers, and they basically give you this. So I think we looked at the source code for that originally, and you can also remember this, you can just assign that's basically this. So render inline is basically giving you a magic variable called rendered component, but you don't need to explicitly put it in there. So that's what that is. And we said that if you are using the component with a user, then it should show that user's email address. The user has to have an email address, and if there's no user, it shouldn't have that. And then we didn't specify what it should do. We just said it shouldn't have that, which is fair enough. All right, cool. So what do we actually want to accomplish with this? Well, ages ago on one of the design streams, hang on, let me switch the app switcher to this screen. We did some rough UI hierarchy kind of designs. So let's take a look at what we're talking about here. So we sort of know the destination that we're trying to head to, which is these are some very rough layouts of what it could look like to create an event. And this part here at the top of the screen is sort of what we're interested in at the moment. So over here on the right-hand side, you have this little bell icon, which is for notifications. And then you have this thing here, which is rather than just having your user profile, it also has two profiles, little avatar things there. And the idea is that they would be, one could be your user, and then one could be the organization that you're signed in as, in case you needed to jump between them, because it's not always obvious what you, let's say that you are an admin for, I I don't know, a high school and a middle school, for example, and you are running different events between each one, you might be signing in and out. You might not do it this way. You might just have this actually might end up being more confusing. You might just have a user avatar here and then have like the organization logo somewhere else that they could switch between. So this might not be the way it ends up working, but we can build out to this basically. And then let's take a look at this one, I guess. This is the mobile view where you could have the same thing. I think my logic would have been that you can get both of these on a mobile layout. Like it's a really neat conservation of space just to have the two avatars next to each other, the organization and the user. But we then have this extra hierarchy. So this is our admin menu. This controls everything and gets us everywhere we want to go. And then once you then drop that level down and you're within an event or you're within a given area of the site, you then can have this additional menu. So let's try and build some of this out. Again, it doesn't look great. It's pretty rough around the edges, but we're not fussed about actually doing any design stuff yet. This is just, let's make it work. And so we basically have the basic building blocks of that here. So this is our site navbar, but what we're really talking about here, I think, is the admin navbar, which maybe we treat totally differently, or maybe the navbar component is actually just a wrapper and you can pass in, because I think we took events and orders from like the idea of just having those two, the highest level navigation from like the way Eventbrite handles theirs, because this can get really cluttered up the top if you're trying to handle like all of the attendees and everything and all the hierarchy stuff in the highest level. So yeah, it's interesting how immediately you start with one basic component and almost immediately bump into like, okay, how are we going to structure this stuff? So let's sort of fumble our way through it. And yeah, maybe the site navbar is actually just the graphical wrapper around this, and then you could pass in here something to indicate what you want to show. Like this could, I don't think that the site navbar really needs to care about whether you're an admin or not. Yeah, should we just let's build out a basic version of the sort of switcher aspect of this. But you would only need that as an admin. So let's sort of have admin navbar. Yeah, I'm going to mess up all the naming of this because I only come to it once a week. I can never remember what we called anything before. So let's have, yeah, so what I'm thinking is like, we're building an organization switcher basically. At the moment, we're thinking we're going to put that in the navigation, in the menu bar, whatever you want to call it, that bit at the top. But there's no reason it needs to live there. How agnostic does the naming need to be for the component where you switch the organization as compared to the rest of the navbar? Or maybe the site nav. Yeah, maybe the admin navbar component and the site navbar component are completely different things. Oh shit. That is the folder name, not the thing. So this could be. Yeah, not overly joyed with any of this naming particularly. I mean, the navbar component could actually have nothing. Oh, I guess you could pass the user in, and then it could say, I don't know what this could be, like is admin or something, and then this could actually render out the navbar component like this. I actually can't remember how that works, but it's like this, isn't it? Blah blah blah, and then this is just the rest of that, and then this is just the highest level wrapper around whatever the user sees, and then there is then a thing called a navbar at the highest level, and then this is just the admin navbar. Okay, that sort of seems vaguely reasonable. Let's not worry about changing this now. Okay, let's just build out the admin one, and we can just render them next to each other. We don't really care. Let's take all of this. And this one is going to be admin navbar component. But same thing, we should just throw a user in. Let's put a green line around this one. But with the admin navbar, let's say that we're not interrogating whether you have a user. You shouldn't be seeing the admin navbar unless you are a user. So maybe that could be the semantic difference between the two. Again, I have not used ViewComponents before on a large scale site, so I actually have no idea the best way to kind of break this up. We really are fumbling our way through. So, but let's assume you can't view admin navbar. Admin navbar, and that you have to have a user, and you could even, I guess you could like raise there if you didn't have one, but it means we can take our conditional out, and you can say like this email address is an admin. Cool. And then can we render that out? We did the other one in here, so we do admin shared. Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm backing myself into way too many corners here in terms of naming, but it's fine because we're just working, like we're so early on in this. I don't think it really is. And again, it's I'm putting this navbar in a partial. I know that you could use like this is instead of the partial. This is just to render out. Like maybe you wouldn't even need this partial. And we know we've got current user. So then do we have an admin layout? That would actually be pretty helpful. No, okay, that's actually how we should probably do this. Is that how we should do this? Yeah. Yeah, again, as usual, I mention it on the stream every week, but like we would normally have planned stuff out and discussed it and like designed it and worked out roughly where we were going rather than fumbling it around on the live stream. But that's what the live stream is for, just to mess around with stuff and see what sticks and what doesn't. And help me remember why certain things do and don't work. Right, one of the things we need to do is remember how Rails layouts work. So let's just dive into the Rails guides. Basically want This is not what I'm looking for. Because I don't think I want a different head component. Or sorry, head tag. I have done this elsewhere. Hang on a second. Done this a million times, but I cannot remember. Do we just lift out the bits in the head that we want and just chuck it in a partial? Just gonna go and see how it works on a couple of other repos. I'm just on the other window, bear with me. Layouts. Oh, okay. So just content. I used content for, and then put content for content. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Is this legit? Oh, this is actually pretty. So elsewhere, what I've done is this. I'm just trying to. I'm looking at the other screen. I'm trying to work out where the. Okay, so it's inside the body tag. That isn't shared, but it can be for everybody. And then here, wrapped what I wanted to do in this. So here you're just making a block called content. And then in here, you're just saying if there is content within the content block, yield the content block. And if not, yield whatever's in the layout, whatever's in the template. And then in here, do I presumably need to put yield, right? Oops. Okay. And then here we can just write, I am in the admin area, just so we know that we're viewing that. And here we should then see, wait for these things, let's see what we actually get. Oh, we haven't actually told anything to use that layout. So now we need to remember how to do that. I think you can do that in controllers, but all of our admin controllers inherit from a base admin controller. So I think we can do it there. And I am also looking up how that works really quickly on the other screen. Oh, it's literally just layout. Okay. So let's put it for the before actions and do layout admin. So now we get, cool. Okay. So we get nothing. Well, I've broken that. That's pretty good. But at least we broke it. So the code is doing something. So layout admin, views, layouts admin, something content for that. In here, there's content for content, yield that content. Oh, do I need to say somewhere? I wonder if I need to, this is going to be random, but do I need to restart the server to get that to work? I'll try, just a vague memory there. I think I really should have followed the docs on that one rather than just guessing. Yeah, sorry for looking at the other screen a bunch. I'm just trying to just have a couple of repos where I've already done this and it's just hoping to kind of skip over it. Application. in here. Sorry, I'm just seeing how I've done this elsewhere. Interesting. Yeah, I've just written. So if there's one, then yield content. Do I actually need this yield, or is that breaks? Do we get anything through here at all? No. And it's because if we go to our home page, that works. Okay, so that works. It's only doing layout admin that breaks it. And if we do layout admin and take this out, does it just say I am in the admin area? Yes, it does. Okay, so it's the content. Wait, does this need to be like that? Surely not. Right, okay, so we just yielded there. Okay, but that's not wrapping. Oh, okay, so. All right, let's get this going. So here we've told it to use that. Use that, and that's yielding everything from there. Okay, fine. So we've lost our head. How do we wrap what's in there? There. So the idea would be is that we would wrap it all in content, and then it would yield here and still be wrapped, right? So we put it in here. But it doesn't get rendered out. Okay, definitely. What happens if we just render both of these? I'm assuming that this one is empty. Oh, but in that case, hang on, maybe we should just go back to the docs. Rails inherit layout. Wait, did I use like parent layout or something like that? Oh no, they've actually put that in. Did I do that? Oh, this is why I shouldn't look at other repos. Yeah, so it's weird. Like I get the just use a partial vibe, but how have I done this before? And I know it's really annoying because I can't show you the other code base, but I'm just can only assume this is where I Okay. Oh, right. I'm missing the render tape. Okay. Right. Hang on, I'm missing a bit. So you assign the blocks and then you render the template at the bottom. Okay. Hang on, sorry about this. I just missed something from my thing here. Okay, so you assign the block content here, and then you actually render the full template. So you're just passing that in as a block. Okay, fair enough. Great. So now, okay, now we've got a load of junk. So that's good. It works. It works. So that's good. I'm in the admin area. Don't need that. This is now correct again, and all of that can go. Cool. Okay, I'm going to run through what just happened because I couldn't remember how I did this, but this is how we did it. So you are using a different layout, but so here we have application, but when you go to admin, you're not rendering this out. You're just assigning it to the block, and then you're still rendering the actual application layout. All you're using this additional layout for is assigning the content here. Yeah, do I actually like that? Like, you can then still assign other blocks within that within like the page that's using this. So within here, sorry, no, that's not there. So within here, for example, randomly, you could still assign a block here called admin contenty stuff, and then within here you can then reuse that again and check whether that's set. So they are sort of nested layouts, but it's not nested layouts at all. It's just you're passing blocks around differently. Okay, I think I still like this. It worked on another project. I couldn't remember how it worked, but it did work. Hello, Justin, in the chat. How's it going? I'm trying to remember how to do basic things that I've done before and haven't touched for a little while. All right, okay, so that's all good. Right, that was 10 minutes of trying to remember how something worked from years ago. So that's fine. That can get closed. We don't need this one at all. I'm in the admin area. And what does that mean that you're in the admin area? You want the, we want that admin navbar. That's what we're trying to do. So we can put that partial in. So in here we have render shared header. And in here we can use render admin shared header, admin shared navbar. Well, I have no idea how we're going to structure any of this stuff, so we're just sort of making it up. Okay, so what have we not got? Admin views, layouts, admin. Admin. Oh, is it already in? Okay, it's just in admin. App view / layout / admin. Admin navbar component. Oh, did I just not name the component correctly? Admin navbar component. Admin navbar. You still need to name these components like that when, so is this called, yeah, it is. You still need that subfolder in there. Okay, so it's actually admin navbar component. Admin component. And in here, it's actually in the partial, which is now in views, admin shared. That's admin navbar component. Okay, I would definitely want to get rid of the partials. Okay, so that I think is an interesting sort of little takeaway around using partials alongside view components. It'll be interesting to see if that would be helpful as you sort of build up this massive component library or a large component library. Would you suddenly opt to stop using partials altogether because they just got more confusing as to where you're actually rendering the components out? So what have we actually got on the screen here? We've got our site navbar component and our admin navbar component, and I've just rendered them both out. Like I think you would want one or the other, but for now we're just trying to put them out. So this one just says is an admin, so we know that that's the admin one, and that's where we can put our logic for our picker. So in here we now know that so and so is an admin. Now I think we've, in terms of like actually doing our UI design here that we're looking to put in a little avatar thing, I don't think we've actually do we store an avatar or anything on a user? I don't think we've done any, we don't have a name or anything on a user, so I'm not really too fussed about that right now. But what we can do is we could do like Google do, where we just put the first character of the email address in a little circle or something like that, and plonk that over here, and that could be, and then like pick a random color or something like that, or I don't know, just make a circle. Because we can come back and do pictures and nice stuff later. Yeah, okay, let's do that. Okay, so we had, I put in some CSS to get rid of like the body. Oh, has it not come through? We had added in like a reset.css thingy. That not getting picked up? Because I think we just wanted to put like, yeah, so they went all the way across. That being specific, is the action text one being specifically entered anywhere? Oh. Do we need to put in here like, how do you do CSS imports? Oh, this is all within. Oh, okay, and this one isn't the one inside Webpack now? Oh man, I can't remember how any of this stuff works. Is it like that? I can't remember what we're actually in here. Is this still in Sprockets or is this in Webpack? Ah, why is this such a pain in the ass? I didn't break. And this is definitely being used because this worked. Like, is this just being imported and ignored? Yeah, okay. That doesn't feel great. I'm definitely cooking up how to get that imported. I thought everything in here... I can't remember. I thought there was like a style sheets one within app JavaScript now. I don't know. All right. So all I'm basically trying to... Styles in this file should be added after the last require statement. It's generally better to create a new file per style scope. So is this not just not happening at all? Okay, so we get electric stuff. Oh, okay, so we do get at import, but it's not actually doing the importing. Because it's trying to do that when it gets rendered. Like, is it trying to look for that final file? I think we're still just all in Sprocket stuff here. Maybe not. Because that's all in Pax.js, but I don't know what this is actually going through to come out the other end. So again, I'm going to go back and take a look. This is probably not a good idea, but just look at another repo and the other screen, so bear with me. Oh, okay. What happens if I just take off this? Nope, same deal. Okay, so it is there. I can. Oh, I'm an idiot. It's got dot body. I'm an absolute idiot. Okay. Okay, that's really annoying. Do I actually need this, or is require tree doing enough? Just take it out. Okay, sorry about that. It was an errant full stop. Every fucking time on this stream, it's always an errant full stop. All right, great. So now it's full width. Okay, cool. We spoke about when we added that in. I thought that added it one time. Did I just leave a full stop on the last time? We probably want to look for like a standard reset or normalize or something like that. Cool. So these then go all the way across. Well, let's make them look nice then. Let's do our thing. Go to our components. Let's style our admin component a bit differently. Can we grab any of this stuff? I know Sketch has some CSS-y style stuff built in. What I've actually done here? White box just with a shadow at the bottom. What happens if I click like copy CSS attributes? Okay. I don't know if this will work though. Let's make the background solid so that we can see if that works. Okay, that's pretty aggressive shadows, but fair enough. And let's just take the site navbar out for a second. Yeah, cool. Okay. So do we want to say let's just put everything in here for now, and then we can break it down into subcomponents later. So this can be I don't know what it would be, but like a section. So I have no idea. Yeah, God, I wish we actually planned some of this out. Well, I mean, we have sort of built out. We want this. Okay, so we want one Flexbox container, I guess, with 1, 2, because this is dynamic. 3, 4 sections. So that can, I think I'd want to check like how semantically best to make that. But I guess an unordered list is probably fine. I'm really making that up. Just making up naming all over the place here. So if you don't like these names, feel free to throw something better at me. But I don't know if it really matters. I always tend to wrap an outline around stuff so I can see it. I think row is the one by default, right? Content container. Yeah, that's probably okay. And then you could make these like content item. And so rather than having the email address, and then what did I say? We want 4 of these. And then this could go in the last one. And you could just have, we'll first give you the first character of that. It's row by default for Flexbox, right? No idea what's about to happen here. Hopefully get 4. We've got pink box. Well, let's give the items a border as well. Oh, I've got that stupid thing on which collapses my nesting for BEM syntax, but let's not worry about that. So let's make these ones silver. Yeah, just be fairly subtle so we can see how they. Do we have 1, 2, 3? Are they just Oh, okay, they're just overriding the other one. So and then here we can have how do you do Flexbox stuff again? So oh no, that's it's because they're both this should be a content item. This is I want to switch this. I want to upgrade this because I think we're getting penalized on these refreshes from Webpacker or something, and don't think we should be. Like, so I think there's a new one in 7, like ES build or something like that. That's faster. Be good to get that sorted out. Oh, okay. So because we haven't got a default normalize, our UL has given us a standard sort of bullet point list. Guess I don't really need that. We don't really. I don't know if there's any benefit to that actually. Maybe there is for like screen readers and stuff. I'd have to go back and check. Should we just do like a single reset on this one? What we can do, oh no, sorry, it's list. List style type none. Yeah, look at this penalty we're sort of paying just for one CSS change. We're just doing seconds of nothing. Okay, and then each of these we want, I'm gonna have to look up the Flexbox. Let's do the CSS tricks ones. Basically just look this up anytime I start doing anything with Flexbox. My mind can't hold it all in my brain. What's the if all items have the remaining spacing distributed equal to all children? What's the default value of flex grow for children? Let's see. If we give all these 1, will they suddenly like each be evenly spaced? Look at this, like it's just such a kick in the like productivity nuts. Okay, so we've got 1. Our logo is going to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's this one? Two, three. Wait. Okay, and so on this one we can have again we would want. So this is like the argument for Tailwind is we're like these are all going to get super long, and these should actually be lists of utility classes, and I can kind of get on board with that, but I couldn't get on with it. So this is an admin navbar like icon, and like we've spoken about, like presumably there are ways to with ViewComponent generate all this stuff dynamically, I would hope. So what does this do? This would have like a little circle and get a background color. This would normally, they do these like dynamically, don't they? It's like a dark golden rod. And guess a fixed height and width. Yeah, okay, this is making me more interested in seeing that because there's just nothing happening in our site. So why do we need such a complex, like a, okay, it should be half that size. And we can make it sit on top. But we actually want the text. Actually, we can just make it flexbox, can't we? Then we got to remember how to do. This is nice. I haven't done any CSS on this stream basically ever. I don't think it's nice to switch gears and try and remember how anything else works. It's like justify content center. And then what's the other one? Line items center. Okay, so now I have my little avatar thing that represents me, but it's a bit. I'm just making these numbers up, by the way. We don't have any like CSS variables or Tailwind or anything like that running. We're just going rogue. Okay, cool. So this is going to be our little picker doodad. We can have our so let's do, because each of these would eventually be their individual components, right? Like I'm just doing everything in here just so we can see it, but so then we can have a logo, and we want our logo to be like, again, I'm just making stuff up, and then we'll just have a box for now, like we did on our sketch file, like a light dark gray. It's like a light gray, light gray, light green. Right. Okay, that's incredibly large. Although I am super zoomed in, aren't I? So actually, I think. Yeah, okay, those numbers did seem weird. Okay, so I actually do want to work at this level of space instead. Sorry, actually, I'm going to do it zoomed out so this appears more normal. So what's that padding on the left. Oh, is that because we're using the UL? Is that the default padding left, is it? Yeah, okay, so we can just kill the padding on that. This one. Okay, okay, so this one can come up somewhat. And this one can be 30 by 30, I think. But the logo is still a little wide at all, so that can actually go down to 40 by 160 for our imaginary logo. And we might want to constrain the width of this, but we don't care because that should all happen automatically. Like if we make this a Flexbox container that behaves well, we shouldn't need to worry about anything else. So this one here is going to be like a little bell icon. So let's put that in there. Just literally put a bell icon. And set like default fonts sizes or anything. Well, these item ones can have align items because they have items in them as center. I think that should knock that down to there. Oh my god, this is just such a pain. This feedback loop on these things. Okay, so it's not align items. Oh, these are not okay, but these could be yeah, okay, cool. They could actually be flex containers themselves. This is I love that little this little helper thing in Firefox grid tools. I don't know if you can read it because the font's super small. Hang on, let me make that bigger here. So when you have a CSS property that's not kicking in Firefox, it says a little eye icon, and then when you hover over it, it's now not working because I've just zoomed in, but it had like the little, just refresh. Oh, now it won't work because it actually, I added the display box. It told you what to fix in your CSS to get that working. It's super helpful. There's a little bell icon, and then over here we want our actual items. So we want events. Well, this is going to be another unordered list. Yeah, definitely need to get a reset going because this one is going to be events. Again, none of this can end up, not like can't, but this is going to be a really big, large component. In the idea being is that each of these will be their own components. So all of the CSS and everything would change, but as it is, we're sort of getting our way to our sketch file. So orders is our other one. And this can actually, this can work because we have our events page, right? So this can be a link and admin events path. Okay, so we're on /events. /events isn't actually rendering anything else. Did I still not fix the layout? I thought I had sort of fixed that earlier. Did I not? Didn't I thought I'd fixed everything with the layouts. Content. Oh, but okay, but it doesn't yield the rest of it. Oh, okay. Is it because I'm now missing the yield from here? Yes. Okay, great. That makes more sense. Okay. Oh my god, this looks like this is not great. I wouldn't normally work like this because it's weird. Because normally you would have a design to work towards, but like it doesn't really matter. Like you're only some CSS away from this looking nice. Like everything's on the, and like some HTML changes and stuff. Like everything's sort of, the building blocks are there. I think that if you if you're sort of used to always working towards a pixel perfect design or something like that, this probably looks terrifying. And I mean, it doesn't, it's not great, but like, because we're just doing it on the stream and we're just sort of working our way there, like it's fine. Like you don't like just chucking in an emoji to get you through, because you're just going to be having some work in progress commits to get to the bit where you swap that out with the nice behavior. Like, I don't know, do other people do that? Like, it doesn't bother me. I mean, not like in this, like not to go to production, just to clarify, not to go to production or anything, but like in your work in progress branch, like mine always look like crap. Like I've definitely paired with people and they're like, why are there like pink lines everywhere? Like, why is there a gray line? It's like, well, I'm visualizing this flex box, like it's showing me how this is going to work. And then at the end, all I do is just go through and take out the lines and it looks all snazzy. I feel like I'm justifying my workflow to no one. Okay. Let's just okay. Because we're gonna need to do the same thing. We need this is gonna be an admin bar. Primary links. Again, just picking names sort of off the top of my head here. And then that can actually be the container for those. And again, we're going to need to do a reset on that because it will also have list style type. Because we haven't got any CSS framework or anything, so we're just resetting these for now just to get it working. Okay, that's fine. And then we want the actual primary links. And this can be display flex as well. And then these can have just some padding, I guess. And they can be it's just so that they're not bumping into each other. And so this is for like the events and orders links. And they can have like a font size, which is going to be arbitrary for now. Fine. Let's see what that does. Oh, no padding. Oh, I didn't add this to the list items. And so again, when I'm talking about these being individual components, presumably, like at the moment, I'm just hard coding these. But at some point, what you're going to need to do, I guess, is have different people with different access to different things. And so you could easily just have this as a separate component. So let's say this list item, this is like admin primary links or something like that. And then you could have you could pass the user to the component and the component could work out what needed to show there. Or you could actually have some logic code based on like permissions or roles or something like that, that then passed the list of maybe like the list of links, or it passed a collection of subcomponents or something like that to the primary component. So this is like the quote unquote dumbest way. Like this doesn't know or do anything. But I'm already trying to start thinking in terms of subcomponents. And we're not building any of those out because it's the stream, but we could do. Okay, so now we've got our padding. That's not, I was gonna say that looks nice. It doesn't look nice, it looks awful. So we're doing it. So we can go to events. Did we build out orders genuinely? I have a memory. No, what did we build out? Like it was attendees, wasn't it? Yeah, okay. So you can then go into an event. How did you go to an event? You edited it. Right, or you went into its orders. Did we not build like an event page? I guess not. The public page. So you can't click on this. There's no like events / Test slug generation name. You can't like go there. No, okay, fine. Okay, well that'd be good to build out like that. So we've got logo. Let's go back to our sketch file. Logo, some nav, a weird doodad for notification stuff, and then our avatar. Basically identical. Right, now what do we want to do? We want to know the organization that we have as well. So could we? Why don't we try this? Why don't we try and build this thing? Because I'm not convinced this is a good idea, but I quite kind of like it. So the idea being is that that's your personal avatar or letter or whatever, and then this would be your organization thing, and it shows you that you're signed in and you're signed in as that organization. And you could click it. Presumably something happens, like a drop down appears, and then you could switch organizations if you wanted to. I'm not sure that's a good idea because I think you would probably want to make it clearer to a user what organization they were signed in as, but you get what you get. Do we have any sort of toggle, like a stimulus? What stimulus controllers have we got? No, none. I thought we'd done some stimulus stuff on this repo. Do we even have a thing? I genuinely thought we had done that. Okay. Let's change that to user avatar icon. See if we can. So here we can have. So we know that a user. So the way that we constructed the relationship between an organization and a user is that they have to join the organization. So we have this organization memberships table. So we know that a user can have memberships of many organizations. But we also know that the organization that the user is currently signed in as, because it's always in the path. Like we've mandated that to be in the admin area of an organization, you have to be in the root path and then slash the slug of the organization. And so we can know on every admin page, and I'm assuming we already do this in the base controller, we assign the organization. Okay, so even though we have an instance variable here with organization, we don't want to use instance variables in our components, which means that we need an organization. And we need it to be the current organization. And then we have that available in our component. So this page is now going to break, and this can't be nil either, because you shouldn't be in the admin area without A, a user, and B, a current organization. So now we should have that current organization. And this is not the instance variable on the view. This is the instance variable of our component. And, oh shit, let's do this the other way. So let's do org avatar icon. And this is going to be current organization dot name. I can't. What's on an organization? Name. Yeah, name. Dot name dot first. Okay, and then this is going to be org avatar icon. So let's make that. I know we're not doing anything. But we're not going to have to undo here, but let's just sort of extract some of this out. We're still within our component BEM syntaxy stuff, but we can just share some things. So this, and this will be in here. And then that one could be there. I mean, we could hard code them at that point, but whatever. That one can be. Then we need another color. How do we get the color picker up? How do we get a color picker up? There we go. Something light, visible, khaki. So we need this, these two. So do we now have two circles? No, because we haven't actually passed it in. So when we then pass, when we generate the navbar component, which is on our new partial, it's weird how you kind of, you don't hold anything in your head to start with. And then gradually, it all starts to stick around. Again, now we are using an instance variable because we are in just a normal view partial. Oh, I hate that. Whatever. So we should have two circles of different colors with two. One has got an S and one's got a T. Amazing. Cool. In fact, we can upcase them both. Cool. If it's good enough for Google, good enough for us. That's what I say. And I've picked the most delightful color scheme. All right, user avatar. No, organization avatar, user avatar. So we want to be able to toggle this. Now, does this user specifically that we're logged in as? I only know their email. When we flush the database, I'm gonna have to create a user with the same email address because it's now the only one I know. User dot organize. Make this bigger for the stream. Organization memberships. How many? 2. Great. Okay. So what we can then do. Let's make another one. Let's make something ugly but predictive of the functionality every time. So again, we're going to extract this out, or maybe not use this at all, but this will basically do. Oh no, don't do that. So we can just do user dot. Can we just, is there a user to organizations? No, organization memberships. Did we set this up so that you can do? Can you do this? Can you do both of those? Actually, I have no idea how we set that up. I can't remember. But what I want to do is this. I want to iterate over this and then build out like that. That's meant. Ah, totally worked. Okay, great. Can Okay, great. So now we have okay, great. So now we're actually getting somewhere in terms of we now have these here. This needs to be toggleable. Fine. Again, not worried about how it actually looks or works. It looks like an absolute mess, but we're just trying to build out what we need, and then we can turn the toggle on, and then we'll be all good. So this should be actually a link to organization name and what is. Where do you go when you go to here? Where do you go? Okay, we haven't built that out, so you're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to go to the events page, basically. And that is where that is admin events path with a new organization slug, and so here. Can you just pass an organization? Does that work? Probably not. Oh, it totally does. Look. Okay, so here we're in some org, which has one event, and then here we're in Sunday Club, which has lots of events, and we can now toggle between them. And so, but they're both called, okay, because this should be changing, but we've only picked the first character. So then that's not changing. So let's do organization. Oh no, okay, so let's do second one. But then get the organization. Yes, that's some organization. So let's call that O. Let's call it org. And do org.update name. And let's put the other org as its name. Well, and then it should be T. Oh no, no, don't want to do that because it's T. Let's do best org, so it's B. Okay, great. So now we should have S, B. And so this would change to the avatar of that organization. Okay, amazing. A complete dog's dinner in terms of what it looks like, but it does do the thing that we want it to do. And what we have is the structure to basically turn this into 1, 2, 3. I mean, that's just totally separate. 4, 5, 6 individual components. And then you can sort of build, mix and match. So if we were being diligent, we'd have built it. I mean, we could have started at the tiny components and sort of built out, but we're not being very diligent, so we don't need to worry about that. Okay. Let's commit all this junk. Everything in here. Very basic admin navbar. Fine. Just junk. That's just a work in progress commit. That's fine. But what I'm really interested in, I generally thought we had done some Stimulus stuff in this repo, and that's quite clearly not the case. Nice one. Package. JSON. Oh, okay. That's interesting. I must have been thinking of the kind of admin UI prototype stuff we did. Did we actually get as far as putting Stimulus in that? Or is it genuinely that we just haven't done anything in Stimulus since the earlier streams? Okay, so we haven't done anything with Stimulus since the earlier streams, and that means I'm going to have to read the Stimulus docs for the 4 billionth time because my brain is incapable of remembering them. Okay. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Let's do it. So what are we going to use Stimulus for? We're going to use Stimulus to build ourselves a little visibility toggle doodad over our avatar. So when you click on the avatar, we can show and hide the organizations, and then we could add some mobile, some CSS to make it all play nicely on mobile, because it currently doesn't, which is fine. All right, so I guess we got to go read the Stimulus docs for the billionth time. But I've done this more than once, so I don't know. So I think import map is one of these the new things. Yeah, I think we're still using Webpack. I think we want to get off this for this application. Maybe we could do that next week. Maybe that could be a good thing to dive into. Switching from Webpack to, I know there's two. I think one is ES build and one is import map. I don't know what the difference is really, but we could find out. All right, let's add this. So that's all fine. We can just leave all that as work in progress. Actually, let's let this do this. So we could just do oh, okay. Great. Okay. So it's all happy with that. So now if I run yarn install, nothing should happen, right? Right. So we can add stimulus package. Right. So next step. Something Webpack. If using Webpack, you can use wired stimulus Webpack helpers to get the same form of auto loading behavior as stimulus for Rails. First add the package, then use it like this. Okay, well, yeah, let's add this, because then that we'll get used to that for when we switch it out. So we can do the same thing. We can do yarn add that. And we can commit that to fine. And then so this can presumably go and live. Like this. So everything under pack is its own entry point, right? Totally making that up now. Totally making that up. Let's see if this is even getting picked up. I generally just want to see. This code is being reached. Okay, so nothing there. And do we need to... Just don't think packs is possibly where this... Because it's not exporting anything. Like this isn't a module. All of that into here. Oh, okay. Wait, don't I need to run like... so we've been we've been through this before. App JavaScript controllers, but don't you get a bunch of like... like a rake stimulus or something to would just help you build out like a hello controller or something? Oh, here we go. Using other builds, import hello controller from dot controllers. Okay, so let's just build our own folder called app JavaScript / controllers. And then, like, does it show you the hello controller it builds? Okay. I think hello controller is this. Okay, let's see what this does. Oh, and I didn't put something about this code as being reached, did I? No, okay, but let's assume that's working. Okay, so then this can go. Yeah, I'm 99% sure that's not where that should live. Webpack, you're encouraged to place your actual application logic in a relevant structure within app JavaScript. Only use these pack files to reference that code so it will be compiled. So, okay. So, import application with image. Context window. Okay, this does work. I want to get rid of Webpack, so I'm actually tempted to just leave it there. So can I now reference the hello controller? And remember what is needed to do that? Okay, so let's change this to that, and then in here, data controller hello to the wrapper. I'm just trying to get the hello world version working, but in our DOM, let's see if we can even do that. Admin navbar HTML. So we want this on here. And we want data action hello greet on. Oh, no, okay, I think that's the wrong way around. I think this is the one we want here. And guess it doesn't matter where that lives anywhere, right? Just on the parent. Let's see if that now works. And so we should be able to click on this letter and see something in the console. Yep, okay, great. So we get hello stimulus appearing when you click S, and the S is for... Oh, have I done the wrong one? Have I done the organization one? Yeah, I've immediately done it on the wrong one. Okay, so that should actually live there. It should be the user. We can keep the class one the same. Now, if you click on T is what we actually want. Yeah, which is for test example or whatever his email address is. Great, so now that's working. So we now want like a toggle visibility control. So we want stimulus toggle visibility controller, because I think there's like a bunch of nearly spelled it right. There's like a bunch of stuff out there, reference points for writing good and bad ones like this. Okay, that's probably going to get a bit deep for what we want. All right, so is this any good? Is this what we want? Based on select value. And that's not what we want, because that's talking about looping over select values. Show and hide elements with Rails 7 stimulus. I'm just being lazy. I don't like. Is this any good, do we think? Let's see what it actually says. So we have a controller. It's called visibility controller. It creates this because what do they have? Actions and targets. Is that the things you can have in the controller? It has a target called hideable. No, targets called hideable. For each of the hideable targets, you set their hidden value to false. The hide targets for each of them, you set their hidden to true. And then the toggle targets inverts their current status. Okay, but this is changing the hidden property because they're buttons, I guess, rather than setting them to display none because they're divs. Oh, interesting. Okay, so import visibility control. So he's having to do that manually. But I'm guessing, but our hello controller we didn't have to, but I'm assuming that's because of the stuff we added in here, which is loading them all. Okay, fair enough. So I'm sort of guessing this is basically what we want, but with the CSS change rather than the... here we go, Stimulus-components, reveal controller. A stimulus controller to toggle a class or one or multiple items to show them. Toggle me, need to reveal, to show me. Okay, so this is... bunch of existing components. This seems more like what I was looking for. Oh, and you can actually grab these out. You don't even need to... You don't even need to write them. Stimulus reveal controller. And so is each of these individual? I mean, it can't be a lot of code. What's actually... Interesting. Okay, this is a whole little ecosystem once you're in it. Can I just see the controller? I mean, other than the fact it's written in TypeScript, it feels like we could just make this. Okay. Should we just make it? And also we should immediately install TypeScript because I totally forgot that we should be doing that. Maybe we should just install this because it's already in TypeScript. This this does feel like the JavaScript-y thing of like, well, it's only 30 lines, but we could import a package to do it. Yeah, okay, we should write our own, I guess. But then I'm assuming this has tests, but the test must be like does add class. Interesting. Oh, I really want to get into this actually. Like I really enjoyed using Stimulus when we were playing around with it before. Anything specific on that testing that you need for Stimulus, or does it like where is start Stimulus coming? Oops, coming from there. Oh, it's actually. Oh, I see. It's just starting and then adding that controller. Okay, we're already at an hour 40, so I'm not going to start adding TypeScript stuff now. I think I might just add this for now, just to kind of save us time. Not really against. Seems like a lot of overkill to show and hide some code. To have a dependency. If this breaks, you're just going to break. Talking myself out of it, but I do just want to get this over with. I just want to have it working. Oh, that's, I wonder, like with the ES build stuff, and my mind is all over the place, but I'm wondering with the ES build or the import map stuff, I wonder if that would affect our ability to use TypeScript. I'm assuming not, because it's just a build step, I guess. My understanding around that is not amazing. Okay, let's build it ourselves. Let's build it ourselves. We'll do a JavaScript version. Let's take our, we'll call it the same thing. We'll do it. And this is going to be super lazy, but is there a TypeScript to JavaScript converter? Sorry to the author of this. Like, I do super appreciate all of your effort. Okay. I mean, that's not cool. All right, fine. We'll do it ourselves. I didn't know what was going to come out of that. I didn't think it was going to be that. Okay, so we can do the same thing. That should already be in our hello controller, right? Import controller. Yep. From what I had stimulus. This is all the same. Export default class extends controller. That should all be the same. Yep. Okay. And targets is what did this one have? I've got to go back and read this. Oh, data action. Oh man, yeah, I've got to go back and reread this. So they all map to each other, don't they? Like targets is the things in it that you map to. Okay. Just gonna keep stealing this. We're not stealing it. We're taking inspiration from it. So then we're gonna have this, which. So connect is like a built-in method, and connect is like it's like did component render or whatever it is from React. Okay. And has hidden class. Again, all of that's being inferred, isn't it? Oh, I've got to go back and read. Toggle. So that's a method that we're just setting up. So this item targets, and this is created by defining item as in the targets array within the controller itself, right? And so you get item, but if we had like a thing here called blah, we would then have blah targets. Think. All right. Then have show, hide. I think for each, and then the syntax is all just ES6, right? Like there's none of that TypeScripty stuff. I'm about to find out. So then now we just have this controller. So let's just see if this loads at all. Great. Okay, and so let's go and see what the what the actual, so data controller reveal, data reveal hidden class is hidden. So the data reveal hidden, the data reveal is for this controller hidden class. So that's defining that is it? Okay. So now we want to be in here. Now I regret leaving this really messy. But what we want to do is set this as like hidden, I guess. And then we need to define. I'm assuming that's the actual name of the class, right? Like it is literally showing and hiding a class called hidden. Yes, great. So we just need to define hidden somewhere. Whatever. Okay, that can live there. So that should now be gone. So these should disappear. This little section up here. Yep, so they're gone. Okay, great. So everything in here. I'm trying to find, let's move this here. So everything in here wants to, oh, can you assign multiple controllers? Or do we not need to do that? Interesting. Stimulus multiple controllers. A space separated list of identifiers. Okay, cool. So hello, well, we don't need hello, believe it or not. So that can go. Oh, whoops. Okay, so I think it's that. So does anything explode by adding that? Let's refresh that. I think so. Okay. And so data reveal target. Item. So we want that to be this. And then somewhere we want the data action here to be when we click on this. And so what this, so I think, okay, so let's just go through what I think I've just added in. So this here tells everything within this element that you're to reference this controller. It says the name of the CSS class. This sets the name of the CSS class to hidden. So presumably we could use whatever we wanted in there. Here we're saying when this element is clicked on, within the reveal controller, use the toggle method. Like call the toggle method. And here we're assigning this as target equals item. And the items are the things that will be toggled within the toggle method. And so it should toggle the hidden method. Does any of that work? It totally works. So we have an organization picker. And now we're just a few bits of CSS away from making that lovely. Where do we put that CSS? We're in components, admin, navbar, this thing, and this thing. So what is it called? It's called admin navbar org. Okay, now, again, we're not really focusing on how bad these names are right now. We're just going to let that go. And it is going to be... Oh, what's that within? That is within that thing. That's fine. So that can be admin navbar content item. Can be position relative, and then anything that is position absolute within that we'll know what to do. And I can never remember which way around this goes, but things like bottom 0, left 0, something like that. That one could go. Okay, so it's nearly there. It's this, is it? Okay, yeah. So what do we actually want? Top 100%? Yeah, okay, great. And I was close with bottom. It's the exact opposite, but same. 100%. And then we can say we want the background color to be white so we can see it. And a little box shadow just to make it stand out a little bit. Oops. Where did it get that? Okay. And the thing within it. So this actually is the UL. So this can then also have landing left 0 because we haven't reset any of the other ones, and the list style type as none. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, so it sort of does something. Right, so let's wrap this up because we're nearly at 2 hours and we've achieved what we want to achieve. We've got loads of cool stuff going on. So that's fully zoomed out and we're zooming in a bit just to see it. Okay, great. What do we have? What have we done? Built a component that we can now break up into subcomponents for admin navbar. We looked at using layouts to define blocks of content and then rendering and then using those as like layers on top of the application layout so we don't lose all of that stuff. They're just available within it. So if you remember, that was within our layouts directory, views layouts. We have this admin thing. We then defined all our content there, and then we were able to use our application layout. Haven't added any tests for any of that stuff, but we probably would want to do that. Once that's working, we then added some the content to our component for our admin navbar. These could then be individual components. One, this represents the logo. It's just a gray block. This is then navigation, which does work, but there's nothing to navigate to other than the events page for each one. This will be when notifications live. It's just from our user interface thing. And then this is our two avatars. One represents the user, which is the first letter of their email address upcased. And then this one represents the organization that they are currently viewing. And so it begins with the first letter of the organization's name. We then added Stimulus.js because I wanted to use that rather than anything else because we've used it and liked it elsewhere. And so we then wrote / heavily borrowed shout out to the lovely authors of Stimulus Reveal Controller. And you can then click on your user avatar thingamajiggery and see a list of organizations, and then you can click, and when you click you'll see that this B we have moved to some-org/admin events, and then we can jump between our organizations. which is pretty cool and way more functionality than we had before, because we zoom back out. Remember, this organization has loads of events and we were struggling to get to our other organizations. And I don't know how many organizations we've got. Console still open? No. Oh, we've only got 2. What do you need to have them? Do you just make a new one? It needs to not begin with what was the other one? Beat or let's just call this one max org. Oh, sorry, it needs to be name. Great, and so then we can do organization membership.create, and that can be user, and I think that is just do last. That should have failed because you need, whoa. Yep, because the user can't be blank. And what I wanted to check is, do we have the user? No. But somewhere we searched for them recently. Yep. And so now user is this user, and we can swap out nil user. And what I'm trying to show is that we can add another organization anytime. So now we zoom back in on this page and refresh it, and then toggle this. So hit refresh, toggle. We now have max org on here. So as a user joins new organizations, they'll immediately be available. There are no events for this organization, but it's all available to them. And then if they get removed from an organization, they would disappear. Again, like I said, this is all really dumb code. This isn't checking for any sort of permission or anything. That's like, we just don't have that. The presence of a membership record represents total admin access to that org. That's all very dumb at the moment. And I mean dumb as in it doesn't have any logic, doesn't contain a lot of logic. And this isn't doing anything fancy like removing it dynamically when your membership got removed or anything. Although it'd be kind of cool if when you got added, when you accepted an invitation, it just like pinged or something like that, did something cool. Although I guess that would appear in your notifications. All right, we've achieved so much, and everything worked. It looks really rough, but that's pretty normal for this. And at least we now have like navigation and can move around different places. Pretty exciting. So let's wrap it up. Next week we will do something else. I haven't thought about it yet. But have a great week if you are watching this live, and if you see this from the week, drop a comment or let me know if people have questions or anything they want to see get built. And obviously we need to go back and add some tests and stuff for all the stuff we've just built. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Goodbye.